Today, Pastor shared about the fact that God has called us to be great and that He made a decision about us even before we were born. And that really blew my mind because, I had so many questions this week about prophecies in your life and so on. And this was really good. The main thing I got was he said, where you are living now has nothing to do with the fact that you are great. That had me in tears, because so many times our lives are not where we think it should be, but that has nothing to do with the fact that God called us to be great.
I always say this, but I mean it every time. Literally, the word was amazing. Sometimes we forget because we're on this earth and sometimes negative pressures overwhelm us, but it's important to remember the purpose that God has on our lives. And I'm just so happy Pastor PJ reminded me of that today. Just being a student and just going through so much, it keeps me confident, and it reminded me today that I'm great. I might not know everything about this subject, but I'm gonna pass this class because I'm great and God put me here. So I'm just so happy for the word. I feel good. I'm about to go ace my exam and I'm happy.
Okay, so today is October 13th, 2013, and something the pastor said was, use this day to be great. God calls us to be excellent, be ambassadors of His word, to spread the word, and just be excellent disciples of Him. He already has a place for us in heaven. So don't try to, suppose somebody, discourages you. Always be encouraged in His word, always be encouraged, knowing that God already has a place for you in heaven. Know that you're God's child, and we are children of God, and that ultimately nothing can stop us. Nothing can stop us when we have God on our side. And another thing, just going along with that, was leaders operate and live in a prophesied place. That's just going off the same thing. Like, He already has a place for us in heaven. Before Jesus was born, there were so many prophets talking about how He's going to be born. There's going to be this man who's going to come to save us, and that's the same thing with us. They prophesied about Him coming. He already knew us before we were. He already knew us before we were formed in our mother's womb. So He already knew what we were gonna do and everything. So that's definitely something that stuck out to me. And just one more thing from Jeremiah 29:11. It says, it's in Jeremiah 29:11. All right. So Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." So God knows our future. He knows that He's going to be working in us, and that ultimately we're going to be doing great things for His kingdom, and it's going to be to glorify Him and to ultimately get others to know Him pretty much, and get others to heaven. And yeah, I guess that's kind of it.
We just finished a great and awesome message today. We just finished the series, the Extraordinaries Legend series. We talked about Jesus, the ultimate extraordinary legend. He was the wonderful counselor. I'm looking at my notes right now, and he was a wonderful counselor. And the one thing that Pastor Pierre had said was that you were born great. So because of what Jesus did on the cross, and because of what Jesus is and was, made us great. So just throughout this is definitely going to carry throughout the week for myself, and then just throughout the things of life. It's definitely going to carry with me, because the message was just really on point, just showing that Jesus' grace and mercy will continue to push me forward to the plans that God has for me.
Operate in the prophecy that God put them through. In other words, the service was mainly geared towards the vision that God will put in you, will install or will deposit in you, and you will live in that prophecy world. And he will reveal things to you that he will not reveal to other persons, just because of the righteousness in Him.